Wow, is Zoom working for me right now? Wow, it's a Christmas miracle. It took about 7 tries to get this Zoom going, but we're here. We're here. I'm queer. We've made it. And I'm here with my guests tonight. Well, today on Nikki Nights, yes, my guest, I'm super excited. Raylene Harewood is here. She's been in the game for a minute. She's been acting. She's been writing. She's been doing it all. So I can't wait to talk to her. Here we go. Well, this is a special, little Christmas edition. Maybe I'm going to talk to her about her Christmas plans. Let's see. There you are. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I was just talking about Christmas plans, and I was like, would you believe I waited till December 14th to buy my gifts? Have you gotten all yours yet?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like I've gotten most of them. Yeah, it's a weird year, hey?
It's such a weird year. I usually will do a Target run. That's honestly when I could do. I like to go shopping and pick out certain things that remind me of the people I'm shopping for,
Yeah, and doing it online just isn't the same. It feels impersonal, or like there's a degree of separation.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been, I guess, you've done most of yours online and.
Yeah, a lot of it online. Some of it though I've done in person, and then I'll just mail it just so it's a little bit more personal, but It's tough. Yeah.
I know. I'm sitting here going, I can't believe you waited till December 14th. I guess it's not as bad as waiting till December 20th, which I've done.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Nikki Nights. I'm so excited to chat with you because you have been busy and you have been in the game, as I call it, for a little bit, like myself. When did you get started? Tell me about your journey.
Okay, so I got started in professional theater when I was about 16 years old, which led me to theater school, which I did for 3 years. And then I got started in film when I was, I want to say 21. So it's been about 5 years now.
And now I have to ask you, because people ask me this all the time. Do you prefer theater or film? And I'm like, you can't ask me that question. It's asking who's my favorite child. I don't have any children, but if I did, I would never say who's my favorite. But yeah, they're totally different. How do you find it to be different? What's the differences for you?
Well, the thing that I love about theater is, the live reaction and the sort of give and take with the audience that you just don't really get in film. You do have, a bunch of crew members watching you, and that can be nice, but there's a certain feeling in the room when you've really got the audience with you, and you just don't really get that in film. So I do love that about theater, but about film, I love the immediacy of it.
Yeah.
You don't have much time, and you gotta just go for it, and that's thrilling to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, there's a lot of differences, but at the same time, when you're still performing and you're still bringing a character to life, and it's funny sometimes though when you do hear those 2 crew members, it's 2 crew members, and I'm like, thanks guys, appreciate the love. But yeah, it's a totally different, wild experience, but it's something I think that every actor should try and experience the difference between stage and film, and try different areas of the craft. There's so many different ways. There's improv comedy. I got into improv in high school, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah. You gotta be brave to do improv, I feel like you can really fall on your butt there.
There were many a times. I remember in my high school, I'll never forget, I was on my high school improv troupe. There were only 2 girls. Janelle and I were so excited to be, repping the ladies on the troupe. And I remember they always said, I had a partner on the troupe. I won't say his name, sweet guy, but they always said you can't rehearse the scenes right before, never use the same topic twice. We did a little rehearsal before, and then it came for the show, the improv show, and he used the same topic. And I'm like, dude, no, you just went against improv 101. Why did you do this to me? But I ran with it. What can you do?
Yeah, you just gotta run with it. That's the game.
So growing up, was music something that was, for me growing up, it was something that was always in the car, in the house, everything from the Grateful Dead to Diana Ross and the Supremes. Who were some of like your musical inspirations growing up?
The first two that come to mind are my parents' favorites. So my mom's favorite growing up was Shania Twain, and she was actually my first concert. So she has a special place in my heart. And then my dad loved Janet Jackson. So Sunday afternoons when my dad was like cleaning the house, it would always be Janet's like live concerts playing on the TV. And that's like a really special memory. So those two are big ones for me.
It's always so interesting how our parents, I mean, sometimes they don't even realize that they're influencing us with music. I mean, I remember the first song I ever remember hearing on the radio was Stop in the Name of Love by Diana Ross and Supremes.
Wow.
And I remember saying to my mom, I have to learn that song. I have to learn it. And that became like my song. And then, as the years went on, I became obsessed with more of my parents' favorites, but more of my grandparents' favorites. I mean, going back to Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Patsy Cline. So
great.
Music is just something that's always just lived very, very deeply in my heart. And Shania Twain, I'll tell you, I love her. I'm telling you, nobody has a hype me up song. Like when a girl needs to feel good and you put on, man, feel like a woman. I mean,
knew you were going to say that.
You could take on anything. You could be walking down the street. You feel fabulous. Oh, yeah. You could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's like that song comes on.
Totally. Absolutely. So was music your first love or was it acting?
It was. Music was my first love. I've been singing since I'm 3, and I thought that that's what I really wanted to do. I was like, I just want to sing. I just want to sing. And I remember at the age of 8, I got a singing coach, and I remember my friend, as I got older, I guess around 12, my friends were like, maybe you want to try theater? And I said to my mom, she was like, I think it'd be a good idea for you to do the theater with your friends. And I remember saying to her, Mom, I'm not an actress. I'm just a singer. And that was the moment my mother said one of the most pivotal things that she's ever said to me in my life. She said, you're not just anything. She said, you're not just a singer. She said, you can do whatever you want. You can sing and act. You can dance and sing, whatever. She's like, you can do it all, Nikki, if you want to. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I was like, maybe I should give theater a try.
Yeah.
What was the first show for you that you saw that you remember just being swept away and just like, oh, I have to do this?
Well, for me, it was actually the first show that I did. So I sort of grew up on musical theater, like the classics, like, Sound of Music and Mary Poppins and, all the good ones. My mom brought that into my life. But this is actually such a funny coincidence. The moment when I realized I had to be an actor was when I did Hairspray at my local theater in Winnipeg. It was my first professional production, and I played Lil Inez. And that was the moment. I had like a moment backstage, and I was like, oh, if I don't do this for the rest of my life, I will be completely unfulfilled.
You had me tearing up because that's how I felt when I saw Tracy. When I saw her when I was 15, I saw her for my 15th birthday, the Broadway show. And I remember sitting there, and that was the first time that there was a physical representation of a girl who looked like me on stage. And she was doing what I wanted to do. And I remember my mom was sitting right next to me, and I just grabbed her, and I was like, Mom. And being that she had gone to the theater with me before, and she had tried to talk during the theater, I used to tell my mom, shh, you don't talk in the theater. So when I went to grab her, I was like, Mom, and she went, shh, you don't talk in the theater. And I was like, no, don't listen to me. I was like, Mom, that's me. I can do that. So I know that feeling. You have that feeling. It's just ingrained inside of you. Yeah. I mean, and
I was going to ask, how many years was it in between seeing the Broadway show for you and then landing that part? Like what?
2.
2? Wow.
It was 2
That's
years. I saw it at 15. I auditioned for the Broadway show when I was 16. And I went back 3 times. And they initially told me, you're too young. And I was like, but I'm 16. Tracy's 16.
Yeah.
And then they explained to me, Broadway actors, sometimes they can get adults to play, and they don't want to mess with people's schooling. And so I was like, okay, fine, protect my, knowledge and my education, fine, if you must.
Yeah.
And then when it came time at 17, I checked the Broadway show's website and it said, we're casting the movie. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah. And that was it. It said, don't send in any tapes. I sent in a tape. I mean, yeah, it's just, it was totally, it was an experience that was definitely, it feels sometimes like it was written in the stars. Like it's
absolutely
magical. So,
yeah.
And so for you, what was like your first big professional, like film job that you felt, that you could feel the difference between theater and film?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, it was probably like I've done a little bit more television than I've done film. Mm-hmm. So I would say either being on The Magicians or Supernatural. Do you love Supernatural?
I don't love it. I'm severely obsessed.
Oh, I see. I
have seen, all right, I'll tell you, I have seen almost every episode. My buddy Chad Lindbergh, who played Dr. Badass in the early episodes, he's one of my dearest friends. So I got hooked when I started watching it when he was in it. And then now I've had a few people on my podcast. I had the woman who played Ellen, who I'm just obsessed with. So I love this show. I can't.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like jumping in? Because that, that show had started. What was that like jumping in,
like season 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long that show was running. It was really cool. In Vancouver, it's, the longest running show, if not one of the longest, but I think it's the longest running show. And so it's such a well-oiled machine. Every crew member has been there for years and years and years. The first AD was there since season 1, so he knows it so well. He knows the boys so well, and everyone's so kind on that set. So it was very comfortable. And, oh no, the name of the actor is escaping me, but I got to do a scene with him, and he's just wonderful. He played Satan in the earlier seasons.
Satan?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, is his name Mark?
Oh, Mark Pellegrino, I think?
Yes, yeah, Mark. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he is an incredible actor. And so, in between scenes, we had our scene that we were doing together, and we got to sit down and kind of work it out and be like, I'm not really getting this. What do you think? And he was really like, I was kind of green at the time, and he's really asking me what I think. And, it just felt really special. I felt like, one of the guys. And, it was a really good experience.
That sounds amazing. I mean, you can tell when a show has had such a long run like that it's probably such a well-oiled machine, like you said, and everybody knows everybody. And it's so nice because I did a guest spot on Ugly Betty, and that was another very like well-oiled machine. Like they had been doing the show for a while, and I like hopped in on like season 6 or something, and they make you feel at home. And it's so nice when this is a family. This is, they've established this. They work together every day, and then they welcome us in, and they ask us, like you said, our opinions, and they help us with character development. And it's really nice to just, not be like, oh, I'm in somebody else's space or on somebody else's show, or, they make you feel like you're a part of it. It's really, really
absolutely cool. Yeah. And I think that's the difference between great leadership. Like it's really hard to be a lead of a show for that reason, because, you're doing your own work. And then you've also, as an actor, you're working with all these different departments. So you can really have some influence on how people are feeling that day and the overall feeling of the workplace. And you can really tell when someone takes that responsibility seriously.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because I've been on some sets where people take their job very prideful. They hold a lot of pride and they take it seriously. And I love that, because I take my job the exact same way. Like from the minute I walk in the morning, I'm studying. Like I am very tunnel vision, and I always tell like the crew, don't be offended if like I seem like I'm zoned out to Pluto. I'm just in my own space, in my own lane, and yeah, it's really cool when people embrace you and all the different departments, you see them come together. And I mean, and a show like Supernatural and The Magicians, like you think of all the props and the costumes and all the stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, so much goes into those shows because there's an element of magic in both of them. So
well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, what was The Magicians like? And were there any, I mean, how does any of that magic stuff work? Because I personally never played anybody like with the magical power. I feel like I'd love to though.
I know, that's my dream. I really want to just like do this and like pretend that something's happening, you know?
And then all of a sudden.
Exactly. Dreams. But yeah, no, that was super cool. We shot, way out of Vancouver in this area that they had scouted to, and it looked like a desert. And there was, I don't know who was wielding the magic in the scenes I was doing, but the guy who played my husband was primarily a stunt person, and he had to go flying back into this giant black pad, and that was really cool to watch, like stunt people do their thing. It's so impressive.
It's wild. I've flown in a couple of productions, and like just all of the stunt work, and those guys work so hard. So I always make friends with the stunt people, especially when I'm doing stunts. I'm like, you got an extra hold on that rope, right? Like I'm not going anywhere, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I have to ask you, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a hard question, because I take this question very seriously. You know what I mean? I could throw out any power, but there's consequences to things like this.
Yeah, I like you. You're just like me. We're like, okay, if we do this, what is going to happen to us?
Exactly. So, I think I would maybe want the power to read minds, but only if I can turn it off. I thought about teleportation, but I know myself and I'm lazy, and I would use that all the time, and my fitness would just drop. So I need to have to walk places,
Yeah.
So I think voluntary mind reading would be great.
I like that. The thought of what goes on in other people's heads scares the absolute shit out of me. So I definitely would need that turn off button for sure. I think for me, I always was absolutely just spellbound by Harry Potter's invisibility cloak.
I know.
So for me, I would just want that thing for like, a few days and see, where I could go. Because I feel like sometimes, I was just talking about it this morning, where somebody ran into me recently and they were like, hi, oh my gosh, it's you. And I was like, hi. And they were like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? And they're like, because you're not, like, and I was like, oh, I don't wake up singing and dancing. I'm so sorry. I would just like to throw on the old invisibility quote every once in a while and not have people think I'm like sad. I'm like, no, I'm just a little tired. But I don't go on a garbage truck. I hate to break it to you.
Exactly. Like you are a full human,
A full human, a whole human. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But being in this business, we have a lot of wild experiences, a lot of different experiences. What has been for you one of the most like rewarding experiences?
Rewarding. Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I think it might be, all joking aside, the movie I did that just came out last month. That crew was incredible. It was 50% women. The story is about a young Black woman doing comedy, so it's not, an industry that's all that welcoming to women or women of color. And, you know, there wasn't any romance involved in the story, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's tell some different stories and different types of love stories, because it is a love story, but it's not a romantic love story. So being a part of something like that was really rewarding, and I would love to do something like that again.
So cool. That's so cool when you have those like experiences that, yeah, especially when it's a woman-driven production, or, you know, it's nice to see that the tides are turning in this business, and that, you know, it was interesting. People always say to me, well, in Hairspray, you know, Tracy was so body positive. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't think that in 2007, like, maybe the world was ready for that. Now I think they are. And I think that's why they're embracing it now. So I think it's really cool to see just everybody doing their thing, and you know, the business just like expanding. And my thing is I've learned, I'm just a little stubborn. So I've learned, well, hey, if you don't want to give me a role, I'm just going to go create one and write it. You know, have you found that yourself? Are you into writing and producing and directing and stuff like that?
I desperately wish I were. I don't know that I possess the discipline to write or create on my own, but I would love to find the dream partner to like do all that for me, where I can like just put ideas out into the air and they can take them and be like, oh yes, and then put it down on the paper and kind of help me see it into fruition. But yeah.
I know I recently did that. I had started writing on my own, and I was writing another project, and then there was another project that I really, really, really wanted to develop. And I called him a buddy of mine, and I had no idea that he would write a treatment that would just blow my mind. So yeah, you never know. It's so interesting. I never thought in the beginning of my career, I was like, I don't know if I could, because my friends would be like, do you want to direct? And I'm like, at this point, I was like, I'm 18. I just finished Hairspray. Direct what? Like, I can barely direct myself across the street with traffic. Like, no. But now, as I've gotten older, and as I've seen more and more female directors, Sofia Coppola and just Greta Gerwig, everybody out there just doing it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like in like 10 years, I would love to try directing. You know, I feel like I've got a lot of vision, and I feel like I do have that potential, but right now I feel like I still have quite a bit to learn.
Yes. Well, no, trust me. So do I. I'm learning every day, especially out here in LA. Now, you were in one of my favorite places in the entire world, Canada.
You love it? Oh.
I don't just love it. Like, I have a severe love affair with it. My friends, from everything from Tim Hortons. I used to live on Bay Street in Toronto while we were filming Hairspray. Yeah, we filmed Hairspray right on Lakeshore. We had a big, big, big sound studio, and that's where we filmed it.
I had no idea that was filmed in Canada. Wow. Yeah. That's special.
We were there for 6 months.
Wow.
And 2 months of rehearsal before that. And I'll tell you, it became home. And anytime I feel like I go home to New York and I'm like, okay, great. When I need a piece of home, I run right up to Toronto when I can. And I just, I take a weekend to myself, and it's one of my favorite places. It's so clean. I remember seeing the subways there for the first time, and I was like, being a New Yorker, a clean subway, what a concept. But
totally.
It's such a beautiful place. Now, you're in Winnipeg?
No, I'm from Winnipeg, but I'm living in Vancouver. I've been here for about 7 years, and it's great. It's such a beautiful city, and you know, it's got a great mix of the city itself and then nature. There's so much nature in and then surrounding Vancouver, which is lovely.
Yeah, and are you a nature person? Do you like to like go on walks? Has that been something you've been doing like during the quarantine?
Yes, especially during the pandemic, yes. Even if it is just around my neighborhood, or I live like a half-hour walk to the ocean, basically.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so that's really nice when I don't have anything to do or anywhere to be, and I'm just like, okay, I need to get out of the house. Like, just go walk to the water. Yeah, but I wouldn't call myself a big nature person. Like, some people move to Vancouver to do like 5-day hikes.
Yeah.
And that is not me. I will go on a easy to moderate hike 5 times a year.
Right. I am with you. I am with you on that. 5 times a year. That sounds perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, just when you need a little mind clearing, right?
Yeah, just a little mind clearing. Other than that, like, yeah, I love a good hike, but I do have friends that'll be like, I'm going hiking for 5-6 days. And I'm like, but when do you stop?
No.
Like, do you sit down? Do you stop? Is there a break? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, to each their own. It's just a hiking for 6 days. I need like a shower in between. I need, a real bath.
I need security. I need to
right now, but I need a little of this, some toothpaste, like, the little things in life.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I can't do that either. I need my home, I need my creature comforts.
Yes. Same here. I'm a creature of comfort. I go for what I know, what I love. Like last night, my mom was like, what are you having for dinner? I was like, Subway, because it's just one of my favorites. And it's just good.
You know it. You love it. Why not?
What's one of your favorite comfort foods?
Ooh, okay. Pasta.
Oh, so you would fit in perfectly at my household. My mother, that's all, she could live off of it. Yes.
Yeah. And there's so many different things you can do with it. And I recently discovered like pasta made of like lentils or edamame or like black beans. So, if I want to be a little bit good, I can go with that. But I definitely cover it in cheese.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And that's how you make up. Yeah. I make that deal with myself. I'm like, okay, if we're going to use the chickpea pasta, then there's going to be at least 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese on top.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I totally get that. So what's next for you? Where can we keep up with you? What's going on?
Nothing at the moment. The year's kind of coming to a close, and I was quite busy in the summertime. I did just, I think, like 6 movies of the week / Hallmark films. So quite a few, and like some I had like larger parts than others, but I was quite busy with all of that. I think there's one coming out next week, actually. It's called Cross Country Christmas, and it's starring Rachel Lee Cook, and that was really fun to work with her.
Gosh.
Yeah, so you can catch me in that. I think it's next week it comes out. But other than that, we'll see. Sky's the limit, right?
Absolutely. I am such a sucker for a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie. Like, you have no idea, especially during Christmas time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
I just want it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that, and I do love Rachel Lee Cook, so I can't wait to see you work with her. That's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited too.
Yeah, you know what? It's a wild business, and it's a crazy time, so the sky's the limit, and we'll just see what happens. But you know what? You are so incredibly talented, and I'm just so excited to see where you go. And I love your work already from, Supernatural, clearly, because I have a severe obsession.
Yes. Thank you. Such a pleasure to talk to you today.
Such a pleasure. The pleasure was all mine. I just want to wish you a very happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Hold down Canada for me. I can't wait to get back there.
I will. Absolutely.
All right. I'll see you soon.
You bet. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. She's so incredibly sweet. I'm not kidding. Like, anybody who knows me knows that Supernatural is like my jam, and getting to talk to her. She's such an incredibly talented and gifted actress. Like, she puts so much into her work, and her performances are so passion driven and filled. And I'm a massive fan of you. And I'm a fan of you guys too. You know that I wish you all a very happy and healthy holiday season. Very blessed. Look, it's been a tough year for us all. It has not been easy. We've all come up against a lot this year, but it is the holidays, and just be kind, treat people the way you would want to be treated, and just realize that it is the holidays, and sometimes the holidays aren't as cheery as they are for other people. I mean, I know certain people are rocking around, doing jingle bell, and all happy, and that's amazing, and I'm super excited, but there are also people who are struggling this time of year, who are missing loved ones, who are grieving the loss of loved ones that have passed, or sometimes the holidays can just be tough. So I know I'm personally, well, I'm super excited for Christmas. I'm missing my loved ones. So I encourage you to check in on your family and friends this holiday season. Give them a call. Just let them know you're there for them, especially if they're going through something, or even if they're not. Just let them know that you're there and you love them and you're sending them happy holidays. And I'm sending you all the best always, not just during the holiday season, you guys. I'm always sending you so much love. But happy holidays to you all. Happy and healthy New Year. Yes. All right, 2021. I think we're all ready for you. So with that being said, happy holidays. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And you know what? Your support and your love is the greatest present I could ever get for the holidays. So thank you all so much. Thank you to my beautiful guest and for her words of wisdom and for sharing her talent with the world, because she's so incredibly gifted. So happy holidays. I love you all. Bye.